This is Plants vs Zombies Mixed Bag, a mod for the first PvC that adds a lot of roguelike mechanics like run-based progression, unlocking new plants or gadgets, and even random modifiers that change how each stage plays. In the last video, I reached round 10 in one of my runs while trying the normal mode, so in this video I will be checking out the other mode called Modifier Madness and the other two decks that are available in the shop, which by the way, they can really change the way you have to play. So let's start with the first run in this mode using the starting and basic deck. In case you didn't watch the last video, when you start a new run, you have these plans to defeat incoming zombies. But now with the first modifier of the run, Dave's Choice, this means we are forced to use 3 random plants Dave chooses for us. In this case, Spike Rock, Golden Magnet and Plantern. One important thing in this mod is that there are no upgrade plants, so plants like Spikeweed are not required to be able to use Spike Rock. You will also notice how Golden Magnet got a new name and rework now called Sun Magnet. Now it's able to collect sun on the screen and also double their sun value. So I definitely got a lot of sun for the last wave. Another important thing in this mod is that when you defeat the final zombie of the level, you have to pick one of the usual 3 rewards. In this case, I got Sunshroom, Spikeweed or starting with a rake on each level. I picked Sunshroom. Round 2 and 2 more modifiers were already added, Raining Seeds and Ambush. Raining Seeds is pretty self-explanatory, and in this case having the ambush modifiers means wave of zombies dropping from the sky thanks to bungee zombies. The level itself though was pretty easy thanks to the big cup cannons we got. As for the reward, I had to choose between unlocking Seashroom, 3-peater or starting with an extra 25 sun. I ended up getting 3-peater. In round 3, the game already had 4 modifiers. This is a lot compared at least to the normal mode, and you will see how things get hard really fast. This level is a prime example of it. Most of the level was easy, but when the last flag came, a bunch of blitzer zombies rushed through my plants, losing a few lawnmowers because of it. But I still managed to win. Between these 3 plants, I picked Fumeroom. Round 4 was a 5 modifier round, and it had one of the exclusive modifiers in this mode, Invisigoal, which I think it's also pretty obvious what it does. Having zero knowledge about where the zombies are is something really bad, but luckily this time it was nothing to worry about, since I also had Gloomshroom and the Raining Seed modifier really helped me spamming them, so I managed to complete it without any problem. Between these rewards, I picked Unworldly Leaf. Round 5 was a 6 modifier level. I think you get why this mode is called Modifier Madness. But even with that, it was kinda easy too, since the plants Dave gave me were really good, especially Cup Cannon and Ice Shroom, and with the Raining Seeds modifier I did it easy. Also, if you're wondering what I grabbed in this round, well, let's say it was Plantern, because I wanted, obviously. Even if these past rounds weren't really hard, this one was a different case, because round 6 had 5 modifiers with one being Ord, which in case you're wondering, this modifier makes the spawn rate of zombies much higher, and this with the fact I had basically trash plants to counter most of the incoming zombies, especially you, I got demolished by the end of the first flag. For this new run, I will try another different deck, in this case the Mushroom one, having Sunshroom, Skirdyshroom, Puffshroom, Coffee Bean and Blower. Each deck has different changes as well. The Mushroom deck has 2 main differences. The first one is starting with more sun in day instead of night, and the second one is Coffee Bean cost decreased to 25 sun. Round 1 as always was quite easy, so let's just skip this and say I grabbed Cardinal Bolt. Round 2 is where another exclusive modifier is introduced, Portals. It works pretty much the same as in the minigame where they first appear. There is also the addition that the portals, to my knowledge, are placed randomly so they can make some funny scenarios. My main strategy with the plants I had was placing 2 columns of kernels and basically spamming Puffshrooms until the level ends. And it worked. Oh, also I ended up with Plantern here. Round 3 added on top of portals and Foggy Day, Invisigoal. Another of the changes I realized is that Plantern has the ability to deal fire damage to zombies in a 3x3 area, which will come in handy because it can also help showing where the zombies actually are, since remember, they are invisible. And this also includes digger zombies, which you can see by the dirt particles they leave behind. A perfect opportunity to put lanterns in the first columns. Other than that, this level was nothing to really worry about. Round 4 was a Foggy Day, Portals and Blood Moon level, but even with dancing zombies and balloon zombies, this wasn't really hard. I managed to complete it with a really basic defense of 1 column of Skirdyshroom, some kernel pods and lanterns to support it. In round 3, by the way, Anyway, I had to choose between the 3 types of gadgets, which I already explained in the last video, and round 4 was a really easy pick. Round 5 was also kinda easy with the raining seeds modifier, and the only really worthy problem to talk about was the digger zombies, but even with that I ended up killing them with cherry bombs. Between the 3 rewards I picked cabbage pult, even though you will see it will really not make much difference. Because in round 6, with 5 whole modifiers, things got hard really quick, or at least that's what I thought, because the level itself wasn't really hard. I got some funny portals and lost a lone mower, which would not make a big difference, right? Well, wrong. Last wave was complicated to say at least, because the spam of zombies and the lack of any good plan to control big waves was enough to make me lose this second run. For this last run, I'm gonna use the final deck available right now, which is the Starter deck. This deck has Sunflower, Snoopy, Kernel Pult, and Blower. This last one has an exclusive ability which you can only see if this deck is being used. Anyway, while using this deck, plants will also deal less damage to zombies, so keep this in mind. Another important thing here is that we will not have the shovel, since in this deck the default gadget is the butter one, where you can stun for about a second the zombie you click. Also, about the Blower ability, now it's able to push back zombies only in his lane, which reminds me of something. Between the first 3 rewards, I ended up picking Cactus. Round 2 had Dave's Choice and Cloudy Day. My strategy here was quite simple, planting a column of snow peas while also trying to put some winter melons behind, which was also pretty easy, so let's just skip ahead because in round 3 something different happened. Round 3 had 3 specific modifiers which really made this hard: Invisigoal, plus Cloudy Day and Dave's Choice. Not only that, but also the plants Dave gave me were not good enough. I ended up picking Cabbage Pult, which I got in round 2, Snoopy and Blower. An interesting and really useful tip for situations like this: when you have the Invisigoal modifier and no idea where the zombies are, use the butter gadget around the lawn to try to stun the hidden zombies. This was really useful in this round and will be in the next ones. However, that wasn't enough, and I started losing some lone mowers. The fact that I couldn't get much sun was also a clear sign that something was going wrong. And yep, you are right, I ended up losing in round 3. Do you see how difficult this can get? Anyway, I will do one last run because I have a feeling it's going to be a good one, right? The first round was really easy as always, with 1 column of snow peas and 1 of kernels. So yeah, also between these rewards I ended up picking Hypnoshroom, even if I still don't have Coffee Bean. In round 2 I was also pretty lucky because it only had 1 modifier, which was Grave Danger, and also pretty weak zombies, so basically the same strategy as last round, but with more spam. Rewards time, and the game gave me a pretty tough decision between the shovel, Coffee Bean and Melon Pult. And you will see later how I made a pretty stupid decision, but I grabbed the shovel anyway. Here is where things start to get complicated. Round 3 had 3 pretty rough modifiers: Foggy Day, Portals, and finally Invisigoal, and then I hate this modifier so much. I did the same strategy I said before, using the butter gadget to discover where zombies are, at least for the first waves. However, it wasn't that hard. The only interesting zombie here was Catapult Zombie, but besides that, everything went pretty well. Then, when it was time to pick the rewards between these 2 gadgets and +1 reward option per level, I ended up picking this last one because again, I don't think these 2 gadgets will be useful right now. Round 4 was a Grave Danger, Scary Butter and Raining Seeds level with pretty tough zombies, and with the plans I have right now, let's say I don't have a lot of DPS. And yeah, generally this level was okay. For zombies like you, I used Hypnoshroom, and for the football zombies, pushing them back with Blower was actually the best to counter them. In fact, Blower with this new ability is pretty strong. So yeah, after defeating the last zombie, I had to choose between Grave Buster and 1 more seed slot, and I ended up picking the seed slot one. Later on, you will see it was kind of a lame decision, but you will understand why later. Round 5 was kinda an easy one. The power of a stall with both Kernel Pult, Snoopy and Blower was enough to deal with pretty much everything. At least that's what I thought at first, because the final wave was interesting. Even with this spam, lawnmowers were enough to deal with every row, so let's pick a starfruit and continue with more. Then round 6, Grave Danger, Scary Potter, Portals and Invisigold. What an interesting combo. Before even starting the level, I tried to know what zombies were coming, hovering the cursor over, and that's how I knew that football zombies and pogo zombies were coming. And they are invisible, so yeah, good luck to my past self, I guess. My main strategy with my new plant starfruit was basically to spam this plant everywhere I could. Before this though, I planted some kernels to deal with the first zombies. Again, remember when I said not grabbing Gravebuster was a bad decision? Well, here is why. Because now I can destroy any gravestone, making things even harder. However, this spam of starfruits was enough to defeat all zombies except obviously the final round. But again, lawnmowers saved me. Now I was able to choose between these 4 special plants, and even though I was quite tempted on grabbing Sun Magnet, I ended up picking Wintermelon. Round 7 was an interesting one. In this case, I decided to be even more spammy with the starfruit, and basically this was my only attacker in this level. Overall, all went pretty well, with the exception of losing a single lawnmower. There was also Digger Zombie in this level, but again, I was using a starfruit, so easy. About Wintermelon, I used him in the row I lost the lawnmower to apply an extra defense. I picked Cherry Bomb here. In round 8, things were looking tougher. Having this many modifiers is obviously not easy to manage. So how did it go? Well, actually really well. The strategy was basically the same as before, so I don't think I need to explain it all over again. Let's just skip to the reward. And these plants are basically trash. No plant here is really worthy for my strategy, but I'm still grabbing Cactus. Round 9 and wow, a little bit of modifiers I see. Even though this amount of modifiers may look like the level is going to be hard, it was actually probably the easiest one, since I had the luck of getting a lot of Wintermelons thanks to the Raining Seeds modifier. And we finally reached round 10 and 7 entire different modifiers are absolutely doomed. Both Blood Moon and Invisigold are especially a big headache. Also, keep in mind that in these 7 modifiers, there is no trace of Raining Seeds, so yeah, another reason to lose hope. And on top of all that, it's also nighttime, so even less sun to plant. This really sucks. And that's not all, because after picking my plants and hitting play, I realized it's a 4 flag level. Wow. My strategy again was similar to what I already said in the past rounds, using the Butter Gadget and Kernel Pulse for the first waves. So how did it go? Well, everything was going fine until this happened. A lot of zombies spawned right there and I don't even have enough plants, and I already used my Doomshroom, so I lost a few lawnmowers because of that. Oh, also, when I was already basically screwed, a Gatling Pea zombie came in lane 4 and I had no sun. You know what that means, right? Yep, there he goes. I think we can all agree this mod has a lot of potential. Keep in mind this is still very weeb and there are upcoming big updates adding new plants, new decks, new lawns and a lot more. So again, if you want to see the progress on this amazing mod made by all this amazing team, make sure to check their Discord. That's all for this video, don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy it and see y'all really soon.